of that energy conversion, a lot of heat gets released. When you have a fever, though, you guys know, you can be laying in bed, standing still, and still have an extremely high body temperature. Do you guys know what we think the reason of having a fever is?
Heat up your body.
Well, yeah, it does. It heats up your body. But if you're sick, why would it be, from an evolutionary perspective, why would it be beneficial, do you think, to set your body temperature higher than normal? Kill the bacteria? That's possible. It's possible. But I would argue you can get a fever when you're infected with fungi or protists, which are eukaryotic organisms. And also, if you're going to increase your body temperature to harm cellular life, isn't it possible that you could harm your cells in the process? Okay, so that's probably not the reason.
It makes molecules move faster, so then the white blood cells or things that kill the outside germs,
Yeah.
they kill faster.
Yeah, that's one of the more popular theories behind having a fever. Is just like Sam says, it speeds up chemical reactions. Your immune system is a chemical warfare machine. So it relies on chemical reactions to do its job. Why not speed up those chemical reactions when your immune system is working to fight off the invader more effectively?
To let you know that you're sick so you can get treatment.
To let you know that you're sick so that you can get treatment. That is possible. We would have to test that and look at, I don't know about that though. Let's think about that.
You'd have no way of knowing.
Are there other mammals that get fevers that don't necessarily get treatment? You know what I mean? Like what, I mean, maybe it indicates to you that you're sick and you need to minimize activity. But as far as getting treatment goes, if there are other vertebrate, non-human organisms that get fevers, what would be the benefit for them if they're not seeking treatment?
Knowing to stay still and just like,
It's possible. It's possible. We'd have to test that. I haven't heard whether or not that's an accepted theory. There are some scientists who think that having a fever really doesn't do anything. It's sort of just a side effect of other aspects of our immune system becoming activated. I'd have to check though on the modifying your behavior theory and whether or not that is a theory. It could possibly be. Okay. Somebody rack your brain for me and tell me why these organelles get special attention when we talk about the evolution of eukaryotic organisms. Why do these organelles get so much emphasis on the evolution of eukaryotic organisms? Somebody who hasn't spoken. Not Sam, not Jack. Go ahead, Bella.
Isn't it kind of the same thing?
What do you mean?
Like, don't they kind of do the same thing?
They have very, very similar functions. They're not the same. This one on top is capturing light energy. This one on bottom is extracting chemical energy from organic molecules to make ATP. But hang on, let's go on with that thought for a second. Which ones do plants have?
The top.
Chloroplast.
both.
Both. They have both.
Shoot, they have both.
They have both. Now, plants do have chloroplasts in addition to mitochondria. Our cells only have mitochondria between these two. But plants need to capture that energy and then they need to break it down. So plants definitely have both. We only have the mitochondria. Somebody remind me though why these two organelles are talked about when we talk about eukaryotic evolution.
Oh,
You want to try again?
didn't it used to be like its own cell?
That's what we think, yeah. We think a couple billion years ago, these actually were free-living prokaryotic organisms. And at some point in time, we think it was approximately 2 billion years ago. The number always changes, but we think that is when eukaryotic organisms came into being. And we think that that happened in large part due to these organelles forming. So we think that these were once free-living organisms that were taken up by a larger cell through what? What do you think? Phagocytosis, good. When you look at the inner membrane, first of all, they have two membranes. When you look at the phospholipid composition of the inner membrane, the phospholipid composition looks similar to a prokaryotic plasma membrane. But when you look at the outer membranes, the phospholipid composition looks similar to a eukaryotic cell. So that suggests that these phospholipids are more eukaryotic in origin, and these phospholipids, or this membrane, is more prokaryotic in origin. What are some other pieces of evidence do you think supports the fact or the theory that these were once free-living?
They have their own DNA.
They have their own DNA. Absolutely. What else? They have their own genetic information. Jack?
They're some of the only organelles that can produce energy, potentially for themselves, before they were in us.
So, wait, say that again?
Before they became in eukaryotic organisms,
Okay.
they can produce their own energy.
They can, exactly, they can produce their own energy. Most of that energy is going to be given up to the cell so that the cell can do work. But absolutely, there are many, many anabolic reactions going on in here that need energy. And these organelles are making the energy for those anabolic reactions to happen. What else? They have their own DNA. They have their own ribosomes. Ribosomes are organelles that help convert the message in DNA and make protein. So they have their own ribosomes, they have their own DNA, they make their own proteins. Now, if you look at these organelles, most of the proteins they make are only proteins to help them do their job. So we think that over time, they essentially jettisoned off or cut away any unnecessary DNA and only retain the DNA that helps them do their function, which is either to capture energy or to extract energy from organic molecules and make ATP. I was going to say something else. Oh, they both have their own cytoplasm. In here, now we don't call it the cytoplasm. There's a jelly-like substance that exists in here that we call the mitochondrial matrix. There's a jelly-like substance in here that we call the stroma, but it's essentially cytoplasm, similar to the cytoplasm you would find in a eukaryotic cell or a prokaryotic cell.
Why don't we call it cytoplasm?
I don't know. It's just the name. I don't know who named it and why they named it, what they named it.
Well, we should find
Probably just for the sake of not confusing it. Because I can just say